Okay, this review is going to be all over the place, kind of crazy, kind of weird. That's the sad COVID face right there. The 8mm vintage camera app for Apple. Only available for Apple, not Android. Lots of copycats available for Android and also on Apple, but I don't think any are quite as good as the old granddaddy of them all, the 8mm vintage camera app. I've had kind of a love-hate relationship with this app. The deal is that I love the look, I love the feel of it. It just has no control. And I've always tried to shoot regular footage like in a stock app and then adjust it in post to make it look like film. Never really quite worked as easy as just shooting this particular app here. There's a lot of reasons for that. Anyways, I did a video of this thing a long time ago. I'm going to do another one because it's a real cool app, real cool look. And I'm always playing with it and there's a lot of interest in it. But you know what? If there was an app that summed up 2020 for sure and just kind of reflected the year, it would be an app like this, because it degrades everything, it breaks everything down, it simplifies everything, it just kind of like destroys. And that sort of process is really interesting visually and metaphorically as well. It's like, why are we so interested in decay and lack of perfection, which is what film represents, at least film in a digital age. I've always been a fan of not making pristine video, but degrading the video and making it look more interesting, more organic, more real, more softer, more in a sense like film, which is why it's called 8mm app, because it's named after the 8mm film stock from, I don't know, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. That's when it was really popular. I haven't been shooting the 8mm app a lot, but I've always went back to it occasionally to try and mimic it, try and mimic the look, try and like soup it up in post like in Final Cut Pro. It's always been tough though because it's a hard look to mimic. For some reason this app does grain really well. I don't know why. I don't like any of the color profiles, like this one, Tuscan is the best one, but you have to correct it because it's usually too magenta, too yellow. I would like there to be more color selection or color grade selection, but there's not a lot of control in the app, and I think that's what makes it so stable. This app is mofo stable. Like, it never crashes. It is like hardcore stable, at least on my iPhone SE. It's the original SE. So maybe it's a good thing that there's not much control, because I think that's what makes an app more stable. There's just less stuff to go wrong. Also, the implementation of the grain is hard to mimic, and the implementation of the 24p, because everything goes to 24p or 18p. I go 24p, and it is hard to mimic good 24p. Like, I'm going to show you some samples, but even at height, like when the shutter's really high on this camera, the 24p is still reasonably smooth. Like, it's really hard to find even a traditional dedicated camera that has good 24p. But this one's got good 24p. Like, it's really strange. So like, you can shoot regular video with this iPhone, like 30p, 60p, and then try and convert it to 24p once you run the footage through this app. But it's just way too jerky. When it converts it to 24p, it does a bad job. But when you shoot native 24p inside this app, it's actually pretty decent. So those two reasons alone are why I like to shoot the native app. There's no stabilization, but you can add a little bit of stabilization in Final Cut Pro. It takes the edge off. It's meant primarily for static shots. Moving is not so good. I'll show some moving samples, but moving's not the best idea. There's various resolutions you can run it at. 640 by 480 is the base, and there's 960 by 720. The 4K is a little sharper than the 640 by 480, but not much. You can basically just take the 640 by 480, and you can enlarge it and like just go full screen on it. It looks fine. The softness works. You know, that's the thing. You shoot 640 by 480 and then just put, just hit fill the screen, and it looks fine on your laptop, on your iPad, on your phone. When you upload it to YouTube, though, YouTube butchers it, because YouTube likes detail and it likes light, and this app doesn't provide much detail, so it's going to pixelate. But still, the pixelation works because the millimeter app. So if YouTube butchers it, it's okay. So I would say I shoot probably 640 by 480, or I shoot 720 by 960 because I don't need the extra resolution, and when I try and stabilize it in Final Cut Pro, the more resolution, the longer it takes to render it. So if you try and stabilize 4K footage, it's going to take a long time, but if you try and stabilize a lot of 640 by 480 footage, it's not that long at all. I like the Tuscan color grade the most because it converts to a more neutral tone in Final Cut Pro. I'm going to show you some of that later because people have been wondering what they should do to correct this. I'm using a screen recorder right now. I'm running iOS 14 on the iPhone SE, and if you want to color correct the color profile of the 8mm vintage camera app, you can do it in post like Final Cut Pro or Premiere or iMovie, but you can also do it in camera. Right now I'm shooting Tuscan, and if I was to just start shooting, I'm only going to shoot like a few seconds of it though. It's got some blues in there, some reds, enough to give you an idea of the color cast of the Tuscan. So we'll shut it off, and now this is automatically recorded to my photos folder in the iPhone, so I'll just go there, recents, and there it is. So now what I can do is go to the top right, hit edit, and you have all these options in the bottom, and on the left side there's like you can do a whole bunch of stuff here with it to adjust the video file. The logical ones would be warmth. You could cool it down like that, and of course tint. Add a little I don't know, green to it maybe, I'm not sure. Probably the warmth is the main one. But what I do is I go right into filters. This is the original, and that's vivid, and that's vivid warm, vivid cool, and that's the one that I like for Tuscan. You can vary the percentage. That's 0 and that's 100. I keep it at 100, and then I just hit done, and it begins to apply the effect. I find that if you touch like the play button, that tends to speed the process up. I don't know if that's true or not, but it does. I think it does. And so what it'll do, it's an MOV file, and it will, when it does the conversion, it'll keep the MOV file, but it'll cut the bitrate in half. I don't think it destroys the quality that much. So it's really taken a lot of the magenta out, and I think it really does a decent job. And then what you can do is from there you can obviously copy it to your computer, or you can copy that version to your computer. I think you can also go in here and you can revert it. So you can revert to original, and you can try several different combinations. And it's good if you just want to upload to the net right away, you know. The other color profiles in this app, I think they're a little bit trickier to correct. But Tuscan, yeah, with the Vivid Cool in the filters of the iPhone Photos app, it's an interesting quick fix. But you need a lot of space on your phone, you know, because you got to shoot the footage, make copies of the footage, and if you delete the footage off your phone, then it's going to be hard to apply the app. So you have to apply the color correction immediately, which kind of sucks. And it's just got a really good high contrast black and white. It's nice and soft. Doesn't have much grain in it, but it looks good. Helps you to see the image. Like, you can shoot regular iPhone footage and then just convert it to black and white post, but it's not the same as actually seeing the black and white image. What this app does really well is it simplifies the way you shoot. So it's like, it's so simple. There's no controls, so it's just you pointing the camera. It's all about the story. It's all about the character. It's all about the video. Whereas the more control you have, the more you're going to focus on the production value, on the controls, on the shutter, on the aperture, on the whatever. So this is good. This thing strips everything down so you focus where you should. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good of a camera you have. It's all going to be about the story and characters, what's going to make the content watchable. That's what's going to get you views. The content's going to get you views, not the production value, not the color grade, not the grain, not the anything. So this app won't save you. You can't add this look to your video and go, oh, people will now watch my videos because I've got this cool look. No, that's not going to happen. You gotta have some content. And it's hard to get good content. But this app's so simple. It forces a lot of focus on the content, which is good. However, the dedicated iPhone video app in this thing's pretty simple too. So there's that. But this is why I shoot mobile phones, is because they're so simple. They force you to focus on the content. They force you to focus on the idea of evergreen content for YouTube. YouTube is not going to, you're not going to future-proof your content by having high production values and shooting 4K or 8K. You're going to future-proof your content by making it interesting to watch, by making it evergreen. YouTube will serve your videos to anyone in 20 years if it's evergreen. People are going to watch it. I mean, because YouTube can run ads on the content and make money, so they don't care about the production values. They care if people are watching. They care if people are searching for your content. And like, the production values are irrelevant. I mean, what I was going to say is, my iPhone SE, the original, not the new one, but it had it never changed the battery since 2016, because the battery was literally lasting for like about 20 minutes and it would die on me. So I took it to Go Mobile. Paul was there. He's a great guy, and got me a new battery for $60, and I got a new case as well. What the hell the name of it? I'll put the case down here below in text. But yeah, it just gave the old iPhone SE from 2015, 2016 new life, and that also gave me new interest in this app, because the battery now lasts more than like 20 minutes. So that helps too. So it's like, you know, these phones, I mean, this is an old phone and it works perfectly well. This phone is perfectly good for making all the videos you'd ever want, for blowing up on YouTube. Like, if you gave this phone to PewDiePie or Emma Chamberlain or Casey Neistat, they could make a video with 1 million views easy. It's crappy built sacrilegious. Henry's just like, no, get away from here with your evil cell phone. Where you hold it, though, determines the exposure. I'm not even touching the screen. Oh, the blue car is nice. Well, it's dark blue. But you know, the poppy exposure, I don't know. You gotta embrace it, you know. If you don't embrace it, you're gonna be in trouble. That's kind of an, see? Ooh, a fire truck, oh my god, that's so cool. But yeah, all the wonky angles, all the exposure just popping. If you embrace all that nonsense and just go with it, I mean, it just makes it a lot easier to shoot, and it also allows you to focus on the story. Because with other, when I'm shooting with my my Google Pixel 3 and I'm trying to shoot some 4K, I'm trying to get all the angles straight, I'm trying to get everything level, I'm trying to just get everything solid as a rock because it's 4K. But with this thing, you know, nah, anything goes. You know, you can't wave the camera around too much because waving and like a lot of shake's not good. But if you gradually just pan and you don't shake too much, like you just gradually pan like that, and you focus only on static shots, it doesn't matter if the lines are all crooked and they don't line up. It just works, you know. And that's what this particular app kind of teaches you, or encourages you to do, to just sort of focus on a story of some kind, or try, hopefully.